Rebecca, Becky, Bloomwood lives in New York City with her best friend, Suze. Becky is addicted to shopping. She loves buying clothes, shoes, accessories, basically anything fashionable. Even though she spends a lot of money, she doesn't earn very much. Becky works as a journalist, but not for a fashion magazine. She writes for a gardening magazine, which she doesn't enjoy much. Her real dream is to work at Isla, a well-known fashion magazine. One day, Becky gets the chance to go to an interview at Isla. On her way there, she passes by a store and sees a beautiful green scarf in the window. She can't resist it and decides she must have it. She goes inside to buy the scarf, but when she tries to pay with her credit card, it gets declined. Becky doesn't want to leave without the scarf, so she tries to come up with a plan to get the money. She goes to a nearby hot dog stand and offers the vendor a check for a large amount of money. In return, she asks him to give her the rest of the money back in cash. Becky lies and says that the scarf is a gift for her sick aunt and she really needs to buy it. A man overhears the conversation and steps in to help. He gives her $20 in cash so she can buy the scarf. Becky is happy and goes on her way. When she reaches Isla magazine for her interview, the receptionist tells her that the position has already been filled by someone else, Alicia Billington. The receptionist sees Becky as disappointed and tells her that there is another job opening at a different magazine called Successful Saving. It's a financial magazine. The receptionist explains that if she gets the job at Successful Saving, it might help her get a job at Isla later. Becky agrees and goes to the interview at Successful Saving. She is surprised to see that the editor of the magazine is the same man who gave her $20 earlier. His name is Luke Brandon. Before going into his office, Becky hides her new green scarf because she doesn't want him to recognize her. She doesn't want him to know she is the same person who begged for money earlier. During the interview, things seem to be going well until Luke's assistant walks in holding the green scarf. She returns it to Becky right in front of Luke. Becky realizes that her secret is out and feels embarrassed. She quickly ends the interview and leaves. Later that night, Becky and Suze talk about her financial problems. Suze adds up all of Becky's credit card bills and tells her she owes $17,262. Becky is shocked. She realizes her shopping habits have gotten her into serious trouble. That evening, Rebecca and Suze get drunk. While they are laughing and drinking, they decide to write letters to the two magazines. Rebecca writes a passionate letter to Isla, trying to show them how much she loves fashion and what she's made of. Then, as a joke, she writes a rude and angry letter to Successful Saving, saying how boring it is. But because she is drunk, she accidentally puts the wrong letters in the envelopes and sends the rude letter to Successful Saving and the serious one to Isla. A few days later, Luke Brandon, the editor of Successful Saving, reads the letter meant for Isla. He actually likes it. He finds it honest and full of personality. Instead of being angry, he is impressed and decides to give Rebecca a chance. He offers her a job on a 3-week trial period. Luke's executive assistant is Haley, who helps manage things at the office. Soon after, Rebecca is given her first work assignment, to write a new column. But instead of doing her job right away, Rebecca decides to go shopping again. She goes to a big clothing sale and buys a beautiful cashmere coat. While looking at the coat closely, she realizes something is wrong. It's not 100% cashmere like the tag said. She's been tricked. This gives her a good idea for her article. She decides to write about how people should always read the fine print, especially when it comes to money. Rebecca writes the article and gives it to Luke. When he asks her if she wants to publish it under her real name, she feels unsure. So Luke comes up with a fun and mysterious name for her, The Girl in the Green Scarf. The article is published under that name and becomes an instant success. People love it. Edgar West, the head of the magazine company, calls Luke to say how much he enjoyed the article. Rebecca's column becomes more and more popular. Business people all over start talking about the girl in the green scarf. Even Rebecca's parents tell her to read the column, not knowing she's the one writing it. The magazine becomes more successful, even internationally. People in other countries like Asia start reading her articles. Rebecca becomes very popular at work. Her boss, her coworkers, and Suze are all proud of her. Later, Luke invites Rebecca to a big magazine conference in Miami. There, she shares her creative ideas with business leaders, and they are impressed. Rebecca and Luke grow closer during the trip. She learns more about him and finds out that he comes from a rich and famous New York family. His mother is Eleanor Sherman, a well-known socialite. But Luke wants to be known for his own work, not his family name. Rebecca respects that. Everything seems to be going great, until Rebecca finds out that Luke is dating Alicia, the woman who got the job at Isla. This makes Rebecca feel sad and confused. Rebecca's column, The Girl in the Green Scarf, becomes more and more popular. So popular, in fact, that she is invited to appear on a live TV show for an interview. Wanting to look her best, she goes to Isla magazine to buy a beautiful dress for the interview. There, she meets the editor of Isla, who helps her choose something stylish. The editor also asks Alicia, who works there, to carry Rebecca's shopping bags. While Rebecca is trying on clothes, Derek Smith calls again. He is a debt collector who has been trying to reach Rebecca for a long time. But Rebecca has been avoiding him. Earlier, she had even lied to Luke and said that Derek was a stalker. Luke believed her and had him banned from the magazine building. This time, when Derek calls, Alicia answers the phone. She hears everything and finds out that Rebecca is deeply in debt and has been lying about it. Now Alicia knows Rebecca's secret. Rebecca goes back home and again gets calls and letters from Derek Smith. Her best friend Sue sees how bad the situation is and makes her go to a support group called Shopaholics Anonymous. There, people with shopping addictions come to get help. Later, Rebecca and Suze go shopping for Suze's upcoming wedding. Rebecca buys a dress for herself and a bridesmaid's dress for Suze's wedding. At the next Shopaholics Anonymous meeting, she meets a woman named Miss Korch. At first, Miss Korch seems nice, but then she introduces herself as the new group leader. She sees the new dresses and doesn't believe Rebecca's excuse that one of them is for a wedding. She tells Rebecca she must donate them all to prove she's serious about getting better. After the meeting, Rebecca doesn't have enough money to buy back both dresses. She has to make a hard choice. She decides to buy back the interview dress and leaves the bridesmaid dress behind. On the day of the live TV interview, Rebecca is excited but nervous. She wears the dress she bought and starts answering questions. But during the interview, something unexpected happens. Derek Smith shows up in the audience. He was invited there by Alicia. He stands up and confronts Rebecca in front of the cameras, talking about her unpaid debts. The moment is embarrassing and shocking for everyone. After the show, Rebecca's magazine, Successful Saving, decides to end her column. They say she brought shame to the magazine and think she is too risky to keep because of her financial problems. Rebecca is crushed. She loses the job she loved and is left feeling ashamed and heartbroken. After the embarrassing TV interview and the loss of her job at Successful Saving, Rebecca feels like her world is falling apart. But something unexpected happens. Edgar West, the owner of the magazine group, meets with Luke Brandon. Luke explains the situation honestly. He says that Rebecca may have let them down, but the girl in the green scarf never did. Her writing was always strong, clear, and helpful to the readers. Edgar is impressed by Luke's belief in Rebecca's talent. He offers Luke a chance to start a brand new magazine, one that would focus on honest, personal writing and be led by the true voice of its writers. Luke decides to take the opportunity and starts his own company, Brandon Communications. Meanwhile, Rebecca faces more problems in her personal life. Suze finds out that Rebecca gave up the bridesmaid dress she was supposed to wear for Suze's wedding. She is heartbroken and angry. She feels like Rebecca doesn't care and has let her down as a friend. Rebecca feels terrible and full of regret. Later, Isla magazine reaches out to Rebecca. They offer her a position at the magazine, the one she always dreamed of. But when she learns that the job would involve lying to readers, like promoting products she doesn't believe in, she says no. Rebecca realizes that honesty matters more than working at a glamorous place. While Rebecca starts making changes in her life, Luke moves forward with his new company, Brandon Communications, ready to build something real and honest, just like the writing that first made the girl in the green scarf so powerful. Rebecca knows she has to repay her debts. She doesn't want to avoid them anymore. With the help of the members of Shopaholics Anonymous, she comes up with a plan to earn money. Together, they organize a big clothes sale. Rebecca goes through all her expensive clothes and accessories, and so do the others. They set up the sale and invite people to buy the items. The sale is a success and they raise a good amount of money. But when Rebecca counts it, she realizes it's still not enough to pay off all her credit card debts. She needs more. Then, during the sale, a woman sees the famous green scarf, the one Rebecca wore when she started her writing journey, and offers $300 for it. Even though the scarf means a lot to Rebecca, she knows it's time to let it go. She sells the scarf. Now, Rebecca finally has enough money to pay her debt to Derek Smith. She decides to give him the full amount, but she does it in a special way. She pays every cent in pennies, to make it as inconvenient as possible for him, because of all the trouble he gave her. Later, Rebecca goes to Suze's wedding. Before she arrives, she goes back and gets the bridesmaid dress she had to give up. She puts it on and makes it just in time. Suze is surprised but happy to see her. Rebecca apologizes and Suze forgives her. Their friendship is repaired. After the wedding, Rebecca walks through the city and passes a fancy Yves Saint Laurent store. She sees beautiful dresses and handbags in the window. The mannequins seem to come to life again, calling her to come inside and shop. For a moment, she's tempted. But then she thinks about how far she's come. She turns around and walks away. As she leaves, the mannequins in the window applaud her for her strength and willpower. Rebecca smiles, proud of herself. Just then, she runs into Luke on the street. He surprises her by returning the green scarf. He tells her that the woman who bought it was actually his agent. He wanted to make sure she could get it back. Rebecca is touched. They look at each other, and finally, they kiss. In the end, Rebecca begins a new chapter in her life, working with Luke at his new company, Brandon Communications. She's finally found balance between fashion, honesty, friendship, and love. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.